You're listening to Safety FM Mini.
This episode of the broadcast and the podcast is brought to you by Safety Focus Moment. They're consultants that want to help you get the safety culture you've been looking for. For more information, go to safetyfocusmoment.com.
Hello and welcome to Safety FM Mini 24. So I have to tell you, I've been gone on vacation over the last 2 weeks. Really been taking a listen to a lot of safety podcasts, and the question came up, why is safety so boring? Yep, you heard me correctly. Why is safety so boring? So I have to tell you, I've listened to some of these very big national branded safety podcasts. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everything that we actually have here at Safety FM is the best. But at the same time, man, I was listening to some of these podcasts and I sat there and I went, why do we make safety so boring?
You are listening to a renowned safety expert, Dr. Jay Allen, on Safety FM. Changing safety cultures, one broadcast and one podcast at a time. Join the fun on social media and find us on Facebook at Safety FM.
We want to attract outside listeners. We want to attract people to learn and to understand safety, but we want to do it in such a boring format that no one's going to care. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and name names of the organizations that are putting out some of these podcasts, but man, I have to tell you, some of them almost even put me to sleep. And I look at it and I go, we really need to realize that if we want to attract more listeners and we want to attract people into our profession, we cannot make safety so boring. So I'm not going to sit here and go, yes, everything that we play on Safety FM are the best podcasts in the business. But I'll tell you, some of them will definitely compete with some of the things that are out there. We have so many different variations of points of views on safetyfm.com and on safetyfm.live. And I'm not sitting here trying to trash the profession, but I'm sitting here going, I want to challenge the people in the profession and go, hey, if we want to attract new audience members, new people, we need to do something different. And I'm going to tell you, this old boring format of here's the rules and here's how it needs to be portrayed is not going to work. And then you have the people that want to take it to the other extreme, that let's make safety so fun. And that's not it either. If you overdo it, people are not going to believe what you're trying to present. And yes, I get a lot of pushback from people that tell me, why does your stuff sound so much like a radio station? Well, that's kind of by design on how we've done it. Yes, I know that we play music on some of the podcasts and so on, but it really depends on what we're trying to attempt to do. All I want to do is expand the audience. I want to expand the profession. I want other people to hear what is going on inside of the safety realm. And maybe that's the standpoint. Maybe that's what we need to look at differently. Maybe that's the approach that we need to take and start looking at it more along the lines of, opposed to it being a scorecard, maybe we need to take a look at it more along the lines of, we're taking care of people. We're taking care of it from a standpoint that we want to make sure that people get home and they're okay, opposed to making a boring podcast, a boring presentation of, here are our numbers and here is what we need to do to proceed forward. The other thing, going back to the podcast aspect, if you make the sound of your podcast like you're recording it inside of the bathroom, probably not the best thing to release. I'm not picking on people. I just want to help. Anyways, sorry about going off on the rant, but I just really think that some of our industry professionals and large organizations can do a lot better in regards to the presentation that they're doing for safety in a podcast, in an audio format, sending it forward. Anyways, that's my 2 cents in regards of where I see things are going wrong in our current industry. Anyways, I have been your safety manager and host, Jay Allen, and until next time, be safe.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Safety FM.